Hello everyone, I am Neoxenoc, and this is my Let's Play of Tomb Raider, the most classic iteration of it, kinda. Yes, well, I'll be doing the 1996 version of Tomb Raider, although I think that this is an emulation of the 1998, greatest hits version of it, which includes, as you can see, hold on a moment. There we go. Yeah, which includes Tomb Raider 2, and I think that's Ninja Gaiden? Ninja something or other. It seems like kind of an odd one to include with this set, but I'm certain this was before Tomb Raider 3 came out. But anyway, I'm very excited to do this because I haven't played classic Tomb Raider in a long time. I tried for the life of me to get the one on Steam to work because I wanted to mod it and, do other stuff with it, including but not limited to, there's an expansion to it, back in the day or something like that, but the Steam version of this is terrible. Terrible. And for start, just as a start, I cannot get a controller to work on it. You cannot set up a handheld controller to work on it. It works best on the keyboard. A 3D platformer that you have to operate on the keyboard. I mean, who does that, even in 1996? Or anywhere in the mid to late 90s. So, yeah, setting up the story here. In those advanced, gorgeous 1996 PlayStation era graphics.
What's a man gotta do to get that kind of attention from you?
I love
it's
that.
Hard to say exactly, but you seem to be doing fine.
Well, great. Though truth is, it ain't me that wants you.
Oh?
No, Miss Jacqueline Natla does. From Natla Technologies. You know, creator of all things bright and beautiful.
Seal it, Larson.
Ma'am.
Feast your eyes on this, Lara. How does that make your wallet rumble?
I'm sorry. I only play for sport.
Then you'll like a big park. Peru. Vast mountain ranges to cover. Sheer walls of ice. Rocky crags. Savage winds. And there's this little trinket. An age-old artifact of mystical power is buried in the unfound tomb of Qualapec. That's my interest. You could leave tomorrow. Are you busy tomorrow?
This is a great intro. Terrible graphics aside, but anyway. Yeah, I'm excited. So anyway, I ended up having to set up a PlayStation emulator, which is what I'm doing this off of, which is kind of disappointing because with the PC version you can save anywhere, and with this you have to use those stupid save crystals or something like that. A problem they managed to fix by Tomb Raider 2 that they kind of, did a hybrid version for Tomb Raider 3 and did something, the demo. Anyway, so interestingly, I didn't really grow up on this game. I did get a PlayStation system, early in its lifetime. But I didn't get Tomb Raider Classic. I actually got Tomb Raider 2, which I played the hell out of. I love this game. Or, not this game, but I love the Tomb Raider franchise. Especially, in that early era or something like that. And it has been a while since I played it. I mean, I did test it out a bunch of times when I was trying to work out the kinks into actually getting this thing to work. But yeah, I actually played Tomb Raider 2 for the most part, and it was the Tomb Raider one of the first games I owned for the PlayStation. I had owned a Genesis and a Nintendo Classic before then.
I'll take you on a guided tour.
So yeah, I mean, going back to Tomb Raider Classic was actually the
Use the D-pad to go into the music room.
It was actually the second Tomb Raider game that I played. And, yeah, being the prepubescent boy as I was at the time, it's difficult not to see the appeal that this sort of game would have, and I've sort of grown to appreciate it for a lot of other reasons, because
Let's do some tumbling. Press the jump button.
Lara Croft is, a very kind of, it's a term kind of thrown about a lot, but Lara Croft is a very strong woman in just about every way a woman can be, strong, independent, you know, she's often depicted as, I don't think she's ever, like, officially had a boyfriend or husband at any point in time. Literally none of her all of her games is about her and, you know, fulfilling her going on adventures throughout the world. And I think it's implied that she's had some lovers here and there or something like that, but, I mean, it's about her and her doing what Lara Croft likes to do, which is adventure. And, yeah. And, of course, me being the prepubescent and kind of in my own boyhood development at the time, it has fueled my lifelong love of women who are a lot like Lara, right down and including my love of women with large boobs. So, yeah, just not gonna lie about that. I mean, this is like she is like one of the women who was, like, influential to me in that respect.
Ah, the main hall. Sorry about the crates. I'm having some things put into storage and the delivery people haven't been yet.
So, yeah, I mean, I just love everything about her, her personality. I love playing the games because it sort of fuels that, like that love of mine of exploration, looking around, finding things. In my Let's Play of Xenoverse 2, I always kind of lamented the fact that, I mean, in Canton City, it's such a huge area to
Run up to a crate, and while still pressing forward, press action, and I'll vault up onto it.
You could go around in Canton City, but you couldn't, like, do much of anything. I mean, you always had places to go, but I mean, it's fairly obvious. There was no, like, hidden Easter eggs or anything around the city, and I always felt like that was a missed opportunity. But anyway, Tomb Raider Classic and its upgrade, Tomb Raider Anniversary, Tomb Raider Anniversary is just an out-and-out superior game to this. Like, just blatantly, it does everything this game does, but better, taking all the lessons learned they had done for some time. This is kind of a very unpolished game, but it is a good game. You can kind of see why it fueled the fandom that it did for a while.
But I've converted it into my own personal gym. I don't actually run everywhere. When I want to be kept with the walk button down, I won't fall off, even if you want to look around, press and hold the look button. Then press in the direction you want to look.
Yeah, and this game's rendering isn't perfect. Although I'm not entirely certain if that's the game or if that's just the emulator that's kind of having... I mean, you can see all the things that is disappearing, like, right out the window. There's, like, some kind of, painting to emulate the outside world from that, and it's disappearing if I look at it at the right angle or something like that. And you can see, like, the missing wall over there just past that door. And you can kind of notice it's like this game has difficulty holding the world together.
If a jump is too far for me, I can grab the ledge and save myself from a nasty fall. Walk to the edge with the white line until I won't go any further. Then press jump immediately, followed by forward, and while I'm in the air, press and hold the action button.
I really like this tutorial section. I mean, it's very kind of effective at it.
Press forward and I'll climb up.
And it gives you that sense of exploration because you can look around her home and things like this. And the sequels do that better than this game does, but I kind of like how you can just, like, hang out at her home and just run through an obstacle course that she built for herself for her own adventures.
If I do a running jump, I can make a jump like that, no problem. Walk to the edge with the white line until I stop. Then let go of walk and tap backwards to give me a run up. Press forward and almost immediately press and hold the jump button. I won't actually jump until the last minute.
Excellent. See, just gotta follow Lara's instructions.
Right, this is a really big one. So do a running jump exactly as before, except while I'm in the air, press and hold the action button to make me grab the ledge.
The great thing about growing up on Tomb Raider 2 instead of 1 is that she's not as pointy.
Nice.
Put more polygons into her and starting from Tomb Raider 2. But anyway, yeah, we're nearly done with this and we can start our Tomb Raid.
Try to vault up here. Press forward and hold action. I can't climb up because the gap is too small, but press right and I'll shimmy sideways until there is room, then press forward.
Yeah, one of the great things that Anniversary did that none of the classics did was that you can shimmy around the corner. Or maybe one of the later sequels did it.
Tap backwards, and I'll jump off backwards. Immediately press and hold the action button, and I'll grab the ledge on the way down.
I also get a sense of how ridiculously fit Lara is. She can jump pretty far. I wonder how that compares to, like, world records or whatnot, because I don't really have a good sense as to
Let's go
distance
for
in
a
this
swim.
game.
The jump button and the directions move me around underwater.
See, now this is a swimming pool. I mean, not one that you would want inexperienced people to swim in, but yeah, definitely one that would be fun if you did. At least if I were as wealthy as her, I would definitely enjoy having a pool like this. Although I imagine she's a lot better at swimming than I am, but that's beside the point.
Air. Just use forward and left and right to maneuver around on the surface. Press jump to dive down for another swim about, or go to the edge and press action to climb out.
Although I would still at least want a shallower section of the water.
Right, now I'd better take off these wet clothes.
So yeah, that was our little training section. So I haven't even really done much with this game since I finally got it. I mean, literally, you have no idea how long it took me to set up something that works, and I pretty much had to abandon using the Steam version entirely for all of the classic Tomb Raiders. Partly because I either couldn't get partly because I couldn't get the controls to work. I had to get like a third-party program called Joy2Key just to get the controls to work on the first 5 or 6 Tomb Raider games. Excuse me. So in order to play any of those, I'll pretty much have to use just the this PlayStation emulator anyway. I mean, it's fine that I have it because I do have a bunch of PlayStation games that I can't use because I don't have a television. And I can play those on my laptop, which is great because I still own all of my original PlayStation games, including Tomb Raider 2. And including Tomb Raider 1. So I might be willing to play, because one of my favorite original PlayStation era games as well was the Armored Core series of games. So, one of the things that the later games managed to do that this game was awful at was that it actually managed to render Lara in clothing that would be appropriate for the weather that she would be in. Whereas in this game, I think it pretty much she is 100% just using her traditional shorts and tank top, or is that a t-shirt? Well, anyway, her normal clothing that she wears. That's not good. That is a woman who enjoys her adrenaline rushes a little bit too much. Not that that's a problem. I mean, she kind of needs to enjoy it in order to put herself in the horrifying danger that she's in. Just raising her eyebrow like, oh crap, okay. This is interesting. So, yes, the first level of the first Tomb Raider game. which is inexplicably well lit, like a lot of the levels in this game. And I think they did a lot better about this in the sequel, because like in this game, this was before that they had flares. So I mean, things had to be just well lit in like the normal game engine, even though there is like literally no source of light that any of this could be coming from. But you know what? It doesn't bother me that much. Yeah, but they did really, I mean, step by step, they really did a lot of improvements to these games. Here becomes our first Indiana Jones-ish trap. Some darts here. Right. So, all right. I forget the movie it was from, but I think it starred Julia Roberts or something like that, where she did maneuvers like that to get around some laser detection grid or something like that. Yeah, same thing. So, at least one of the good things about using the PlayStation emulator is that I have this on as a windowed version, so I can access my computer resources. And yeah, the game is telling me, I'm not controlling the look-see here, it's just the game telling me that she's noticing that, and that's where I should go. Anyway, just so I can, I'm going to very quickly access my... There's a very awesome website called Stella's Walkthroughs, and it has like walkthroughs of all the Tomb Raider games, and I'll be using that for this one. I don't think I need it for this level, but where is it? There we go. Let's see, initial release. Did it becoming Tomb Raider walkthrough, level 1 caves. Yeah. Okay, so there's 3 secrets, and I remember where the first 2 was, but sometimes I can have problems remembering where the last one is. Grim with greenery and a time door. I could probably just find it on my own, but I'm going to try to find all the secrets in this game, and some of them are much more difficult to find than others. Yeah. Nice little doorway right here. So, yeah. The scaling difficulty of this game is pretty much perfect with this level. A lot of fairly mundane challenges that even gets gradually more difficult through this. It won't let me just, like, action my way up there. I have to tell Lara to jump and then grab. And I get my first mini Medipack. And this way we can get a look at Lara from the front, kind of. Yeah, so her polygon count on herself is like the lowest it is in any of the franchise for obvious reasons, but yeah, she is very pointy. Especially on her bust. Anywho, give me a safe drop here. Now we'll go through the hole. So yeah, Tomb Raider Anniversary was a modern remake of this game, and it just does everything that this game does, but better. I absolutely adore Tomb Raider Anniversary. It's one of the most recent games I played on the PlayStation 2, which was the last console I owned. And I wasn't able to get any new ones for a long time because, you know, growing up, moving out of my parents' home, going into my own place, and, like, not owning a TV. It does help sometimes to know how many bullets it takes to kill things, because sometimes you'll just keep firing and firing and firing, even though it was, like, long after you killed any of these things. So yeah, I'd be stuck on these levels so much just trying to find secrets. and other fun little things I can go into, trying to jump into places that's literally impossible for her to jump into, especially in the sequel game where it like looked like there's more places you could go to, even though it would probably be impossible. Sometimes if you're unsure if you should jump, and here's the second secret. So unlike the second game, this game has like quite a bit less focus on action that the sequel does. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. At least I don't, but then again, I have a very kind of positive feel for like literally all of these games, or at least all the ones that I played. I played the first four. I didn't play Chronicles, and I think there's a sixth one I never played. Then I don't think I played any of the PlayStation 2 era ones, nor any of the like most recent ones in the rebirth that she had, like Rise of the Tomb Raider or something like that. But I saw like a special of like buy all Tomb Raider games on Steam, and that's, you know, how I got all these games, and partly why I decided to go through these. Man, even with the low graphics, it is just so fun just to look around and see what you can do. So yeah, we're definitely getting into caves here. It looks like we're finding some more moss / vines. Well, the first place I lived in as, like before I owned any of the, I think I had a Nintendo at this point in time, but when I was very, very young, like in early elementary school, the first like house I lived in had this, lived in one of those areas that had a lot of, like, you know, a lot of areas I could say you could explore, but it was just like a ginormous backlot where they hadn't done construction, and it was just like a lot of fun places you could look around and such. But I never like brought up the courage to go too far from my home. Like I never quite enough to to just go for an hour and then eventually come back or anything like that. I was a bit too scared that I wouldn't be able to find my way back. And I don't believe I've ever really lost that compulsion, because except now I have a car to do fun stuff like that. Although nowadays I live in the middle of a city. Bloody hell. Yeah. There's a lot of things that did not render in polygons, because I think just like these, because clearly two-dimensional. It just really looks awful. They do that less and less as the game goes on, but they still kind of do it in some instances for Tomb Raider 2 and beyond. But yeah, Tomb Raider 2 is still considered one of the best in the entire franchise, but there are a number of like mediocre titles that you really wouldn't think much of, and especially because after a while, I mean, they just kind of cranked out these Tomb Raider games one after another for a while, so I mean, it really gets repetitive, once you're on the fourth or fifth game or something like that, and you're still basically doing what I'm doing now. No matter how creative it got, it did eventually get repetitive. So I never honestly could figure out what that noise was supposed to be. I mean, I know they're obviously putting it on, what is that, a wolf of some kind or another? But do wolves even make that noise? I don't know what that is. But yeah, there's literally no danger from them because they can't get up to here, which makes me wonder where those... Yeah, the ecology of this area also makes no sense. And there are some areas I can use to look around here too, although I don't really need to. There really isn't much in the way of like secrets in this particular area. I think there's an exit from another stage around here, particularly the next area. And I missed the bridge here. But yeah, at some point in time I'll probably make my way through most if not all the Tomb Raider games that I have. Although I will necessarily need to get emulators for literally all the PlayStation era games and probably the PlayStation 2 era. I don't know. I'll have to see if the Steam games work for the PlayStation 2 era games and beyond. But yeah, I don't believe there's anything in this room to get. I don't really want to halt this game too much in order to, you know, look at the strategy guide or anything like that. I'll do that in between episodes. Episodes, by the way, I'm going to have up to this point, most of my episodes of things have been like an hour long or something like that, but these are going to be much shorter. Maybe about 20 minutes or so. I don't even know how long I've been playing this game so far, but, you know, I think I'll save it just about every time I come across one of these, save crystals. Which, honestly, it looks really cool. It's like one of the coolest looking things in this game. I suppose I could just go down there and kill it, but, you know, work smart, not hard. Yeah, I need to do a running jump if I don't want to fall. Bloody hell. You know I get counted for every bullet in this game, right? Stop complaining. Just go someplace where I can see you so I can throw bullets in you. I don't even know how you live. There are no, like... There's no salmon here or anything you can eat, and there's not enough of a wolf population for you. Okay. You know what, the longer I jump around here, the more likely it is I'm just going to fall off, so... I'll just have to keep... Come on. Come on. You're not that smart. Get out here. It's too bad I can't have her crouch. Or even assume like a sniping position. Alright, I'm tired of messing with you. So, that's our introduction to Tomb Raiding with Lara Croft. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope to see you next time. Take care and goodbye.